Reploids are made in all shapes and sizes, and fulfill various roles throughout their life. While some stick to the path they were designed for, others pick up new skills or adapt and move into other roles. Today we're looking at a Reploid who's worn many hats, from Reploid Researcher to Brutal Assassin. This is the basics on Alia. Mega Man X5 introduced several main new cast members to expand our perception of the Hunters. Cygnus the Commander, Douglas the Mechanic, Lifesaver the Medic, and Alia the Navigator. As her title implies, she was there to aid the Hunters when they were out in the field, by examining the area and reporting on anything they would need a heads up on. She's able to read anomalies due to the effects of the Sigma virus, and swiftly reports her findings, even if it's at the most inconvenient of times. She's been a mainstay in the series, appearing in each numbered game after her debut, which, is more than I can say for some of these others. Alia, though, was also favored to some degree, as she's the only one out of the new cast to get some real, in-depth lore about her past. Alia is a diligent worker who focuses on the tasks at hand before herself. She's worked hard to get to where she is and doesn't resort to underhanded tactics. She does things by the book, and she isn't afraid to scold someone.
Just the thought of wiping the floor with those Mavericks makes my trigger finger itch.
Axel!
Even when faced dire situations, Alia keeps her cool and doesn't succumb to emotions or let them sway her thoughts. She was a driving force, pushing for Axel to be a hunter due to his skill and the lack of hunter support, when others were against the idea just out of personal principles. She's a realist, believing that there's a means to events and doesn't believe simply in miracles. She also has a devotion to helping everyone, proclaiming that she aims to make a program to eradicate all viruses. The main times we see Alia is during global catastrophes, though the few times we do get to see her outside of them, she appears to be more of a laid-back, peppy person. From sources of Teppan and X-Dive, she likes clothing and feeling pretty. Originally, Alia worked as an engineer for a Reploid research team. One of her colleagues was Gate, a renowned scientist who was able to create Reploids that were greatly feared, for they were unanalyzable, except by him. Their performance was off the charts, though you wouldn't know that by fighting them. Even though Gate is superior, Alia surpassed him in the field on paper, being promoted over him, all because she did things properly. By the book, so to speak. Her skill sets are vast, as she's a master in all programming languages. However, this isn't her only set of skills. During her time in Reploid Research, she took part in strategic operations to take out Gate's creations that were feared. Blizzard Wolffang, a combat Reploid, was lured into a trap by irregulars. He narrowly survived, though his team was wiped out. His victory didn't last long though, as he was disposed of by Alia and tossed out to sea in an act that made it look like an accident. While that act might have been a group effort, Ground Scarovich is another story. This was a wanted Reploid who was a treasure hunter and extractor of data, as he was traveling to a forbidden place, the area where X and Zero were discovered. Alia herself then assassinated him. While these are the only two she directly states to be involved in, she does also say that she took part in several retirements, which, by definition, means at minimum 3. It's often speculated that she also took out Commander Yemark. His flight system was sabotaged and caused him to have an unfortunate crash. Alia's skill set would allow for this to be true, though there's nothing else to support the theory. Eventually, Alia would leave the Reploid research team, after being recruited by the Hunters. It's never stated when she joined the Hunters, as her first appearance is in X5. Though, interestingly enough, in other media, the novel Rockman X Irregular Report, she joined after Sigma's revolt, and was the navigator for X during the events of the first game. She's not named until the very end of the book. But throughout it, X's navigator is described as blonde, and being a former Reploid researcher. X-Dive also has a small bit of insight that supports an earlier join. During the second Monster Hunter event, Zero and Iris appear, with Zero mentioning he was on his way to Memorial Hall to face Colonel, an event in X4. He later mentions the need to talk to Alia about what's going on with his new design, indicating that she's with the Hunters prior to X5. Alia became the chief navigator and spots for X, Zero, and eventually Axel. Likely she spots for others, but we never see those interactions. She's able to read situations quickly, and can analyze most data. She's quick to pick up on anomalies caused by viruses and similar products, and generally has a solution already in the works, or at least a concept of one. Examples here would be the U-555 submarine, being active when it should be in a museum, or how the planetarium was going haywire. During the Nightmare incident, by studying data recovered from the Nightmare, Alia is able to not only figure out what the Nightmare actually is, but also is able to deduce who made it, and why. In doing so, she is able to point the Hunters to the source, to put a stop to the crisis once and for all. During the events of the Jacob Project, the new generation Reploids, who were immune to viruses, were revolting, and the question was, why? Thanks to Alia, the Hunters were able to get a bit of insight as to what was going on. As she studied the copy chips of the new gens, she found that they all bore a similarity. Compared to Axel's prototype copy chip, all the new ones contained a pattern to them that was similar to Sigma's DNA. According to her research, copying a Sigma body is perfectly safe. This pattern was hard-coded into the Reploids, making a situation where they all seem to actually be Sigma. Her analysis was the insight they needed to know that the big bad was at it again. There's also a running fan theory on Alia, based on her quote in X6 about wanting to create a virus protection program. This is that she took part in development of the Mother Elf. Alia is equipped with a high-speed CPU, and is able to analyze data at incredible speeds. As previously said, her analysis skills have come in clutch for the Hunters many times throughout her career. As if her skills in the virus and similar program field wasn't impressive enough, she's also able to reconstruct X's armors. In X5, the fourth armor X uses is actually a complete recreation by Alia. Though the material was super old and, much like X, unanalyzable, her version wasn't perfect. The unlimited use of special weapons is now just a less energy consumption, and the Nova Strike is completely gone. Even though imperfect, this is an incredible feat. In a rush, she's able to repair the Falcon armor to a functional state too, though not completely due to some time restraints, also because flying would completely break the game. In X-Dive, it's implied that she worked with Light to create the Rathalos armor. Outside of navigating, Alia can take to the fray. As previously mentioned, she has assassinated Reploids, so if need be, she can get her hands dirty. As a little secret Easter egg, you can even unlock Alia as a playable character in X8. She comes equipped with a Buster and plays identical to X, all the way down to the upgrades you can buy in the shop. She returned to X-Dive as a playable unit, with her Buster actually being data mined as being considered for a main weapon at some point in development. She came in with her skills being two of the X8 special weapons, Green Spinner and Melt Creeper. This was a theme shared by her two junior navigators as well, as Layer and Palette both pulled from X8 special moves for their skills. As the game progressed, Alia came back twice for seasonal events, White Day and Bride of June, where she was equipped with festive skills such as blowing a kiss and throwing a bouquet that explodes. There was also an unused design for Iris and Other, that many fans speculate the concept was originally for Alia, as it looks like Alia is stealing from Cygnus' wardrobe, maybe implying she became the commander? She sure acts more like a commander in the later games of Cygnus.
That looked like a hard fight, but there was never any doubt that you'd come out on top.
From engineer to assassin to navigator, Alia is a Swiss Army knife of technical skills who is an invaluable asset. She's done it all, and shows no signs of taking it easy anytime soon. What do you think of Alia? Were you shocked about her past? What designs of her do you like the most? Let me know below! Till next time, rock on!